to right, and systems must be redesigned to honor that truth. Please join me in welcoming Robin.
So thank you. First, I want to start off by giving honor to God. Without God, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be able to continue to do the work that I do. And so I just thank God for this opportunity to be here with you all tonight. I also thank the University of Wisconsin-Green Bay, where I got my undergraduate degree, and I'm also there, and I'm able to get my doctorate degree. And thank you, Cordero and Chancellor, for giving me this opportunity. I come from the soft side of Chicago, Inglewood. My mother was 14 when she gave birth to me. By the time she was 23 years old, she had 7 of us, and I am the eldest. See your mom over there, don't you? Like many eldest daughters and teen mothers, I became a second mother before I was fully even a child. One of my brothers, just 11 months younger than me, was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma at age 5. Twice, we were told that he had 6 months to live. He became a Make-A-Wish kid. I became a researcher at just 6 years old. That's when I learned that my father, he couldn't read. That's when I watched my grandmother, who wrestled with alcohol and also identity, spot the swollen lymph nodes in my brother's neck and say, "This is cancer. We're not going to the local clinic. We're taking the bus to the cancer treatment center. That's where they beat this kind of stuff." 2 hours on public transit, because even when we didn't have stability in our home, we already, which my grandma showed, had strategy in our blood. People judged my mother, called her reckless, called her fast, but they never asked why. They didn't see molestation, poverty, the absence of protection. No one told her that she was part of medical history when her next born daughter, named after herself, had an umbilical cord that helped save my brother's life. They just told her, "Stop having kids." But I watched her raise us with spiritual depth far beyond her years. She taught us strength through vulnerability, realness through rawness. And through that, I learned to lead. I also learned what it meant to be other. Not just by the world, but sometimes even by your own family. They called us Nicky kids. We were the ones in the basement eating hot dogs, while other families and cousins ate roast. One of my siblings died from SIDS in the bed next to me. Another fought cancer, another poverty, but all of us fought to be seen. At 13, I got my first job at Shalotsky's Deli here in Green Bay. My father was incarcerated, and I wanted to send him money for vitamins, for a winter hat. But growing up, my father was 19 when he got my mother pregnant. She was 13. And now, as a grown woman and a mother myself, I understand how wrong that was. But growing up, no one ever called it assault. No one named it abuse. They just said my mother was fast. That's how it worked in our community, especially for Black girls. And my father, he didn't think of it as harm, but it was. He was neglected too, raised in foster care, abandoned, criminalized, very young, and still he was older. He had power. I sit in that tension, not to excuse it, not to make it neat, but because this is my story. This is my chance to share it. I still love my father, and I still believe in telling the truth. Because there are families like mine, still living with what happened back then, still working to make peace with what wasn't protected, still trying to figure out how to carry both grief and gratitude in the same breath. I don't tell this story for sympathy. I tell it because it's real. Because silence never protected us. And because I believe healing has to start with honesty, even the kind that breaks your voice to say it out loud. What I learned early is that leadership isn't about having power. It's about surviving powerlessness. It's about remembering where you come from and who never got the chance to keep going. So what do you do with a childhood like mine? With the grief, the memory, the hunger, the loss, you build. You build something that wasn't supposed to exist in a city like Green Bay, Wisconsin. You build We All Rise African American Resource Center. And you build it from the inside out. Not from theory, but from truth. From lived experience, from clinical training, from cultural clarity, and from refusal. Refusal to let another child grow up believing that their pain is pathology. Refusal to let another black mother be judged before she's heard. The refusal to allow another survivor to be met with silence or shame. At We All Rise, we don't provide charity. We deliver justice-centered, trauma-informed care, and that is from thousands of families across every nationality and every ethnicity in this community. We deliver that top-level care. We don't offer one-size-fits-all programs. We create culturally specific, generation systems of support. We've served over 3,000 families each year. And I don't mean paper touches, I mean real people with real danger. People navigating homelessness, domestic violence, incarceration, intergenerational trauma, young people in crisis, elders left behind, mothers rebuilding from nothing. We intervened in trafficking. We've stopped suicides in progress. We fought for safety, for custody, for life. We've helped survivors leave with nothing but a garbage bag and a fragment of hope. And we've done all that while the very systems that should fund us keep cutting the floor right from up underneath us. Right now, victim services are being defunded across the country, including right here at home. We're being asked to do more with less, as if we weren't already giving our sleep, our sanity, our savings to keep people alive. Let me be clear. We are not case managers, we are lifelines, and We All Rise. We are not a service. We are a sacred interruption in the cycle of harm. We are clinicians, strategists, connectors, cultural first responders, trained in survival but always rooted in love. We are a place where people can finally exhale, where trauma is met with structure, where culture is not a barrier to care, it's a blueprint. We are not a side project, feel-good feature. We are a necessary institution for public safety, for mental health, and for system transformation. When you remove us, when you starve us of resources, people don't just get less support, people die. This is not hypothetical theory, it's not symbolic. This is my life work, and it started here. I find myself responsible for this community, even though I said right at the start, I'm from Chicago and Inglewood, but this is my home. From UWGB classrooms to community crisis lines, from APA citations to hours after safety plans, from my own lived trauma to a nationally recognized trauma response model. At We All Rise, we're not just building programs, we're building protection, policy, possibility, and we're building the world our people have always deserved. Tonight, I'm really honored with this award. I did not come here for applause though. I came to witness, to say out loud what so many of us know in our bones, that the real work of justice does not happen on stages. It happens in silence, in sacrifice, in slow, aching labor of care. This award belongs to the elders who whispered strength into me when the world said I was too young. It belongs to the survivors who show up at our doors after being ignored everywhere else. And it belongs to the youth who trust us enough to cry after generations have taught them to stay silent. It belongs to my staff. All 27 of y'all. Y'all give everything, even when there is not enough to give. And yes, this award belongs to my mother, who brought me into a world that wasn't ready for either of us. And still, you chose love over fear again and again and again. I do not take this lightly, because I'm not the exception. I am the example of what becomes possible when someone is given a chance, when someone is given a home, and when somebody is given a community. And I want to know that as I rise, I don't have to rise alone. So tonight, I ask y'all in this room, if you're an educator, I need you to teach truth. If you're a funder, I need you to resource recklessly brave work. If you are an administrator, I need you to protect spaces like ours. And if you're a policymaker, fund care like it's public safety. And if you're a neighbor, please refuse to look away. Because applause is not enough. What we need is sustainability. What we deserve is dignity. And what we demand is a future where our healing is not optional, but it's urgent. We are not just healing people, we're healing systems. We're rebuilding trust where institutions have failed. We're redefining what it means to be safe, to be seen, and to belong. This is not a job, it's a ministry. This is not a moment, y'all. It's a movement. And it's not about me. It's definitely about us. So to my UWGB family, my classmates that are here tonight, the staff, and everybody who has believed in the word, thank you. Thank you for being part of my roots, for being part of my rise, and for helping to shape the scholar, the mother, the wife, the visionary, and the freedom worker that I'll always continue to be. I leave you all with this. We all rise when we remember where we come from. When we are brave enough to stand up in front of a room like this and tell the truth. And when we commit, not just in ceremony, but in action, to the liberation of all people. Thank you.